Hello and welcome to the World We Live In podcast. I'm your host, Eric Patterson. Alongside me is my sister, Erin. Join us as we explore the amazing, mysterious aspects of our planet's cultures, history, and future trends. What's going on?
What's up? We're back.
We are back. I think it's been 2 weeks, right?
I think it
Yeah,
has.
I don't think we did one last week.
No.
What you been up to?
Honestly, a whole lot of nothing.
Yeah.
Other than my
whole lot of college.
whole lot of college, yes. Which you think would be more exciting than it is, but
Yeah.
not right now.
Having been out for 4 years, it's one of those things where you enjoyed it at the time because of all the freedom, but going back just doesn't seem worth it.
Right, and I feel like it comes in, like, the excitement of it comes in waves.
It does.
Throughout
yes.
the years. Like,
yes.
Right now it's just,
It just is
it
what
just is.
Yeah.
Which is good, honestly. Sometimes too much excitement is not what we want.
Most of post-graduation. It is what it is.
I will say last week was a little bit exciting. Not in a good way, like I was saying, but I just ran into a curb so hard.
Oh, yeah, that was rough.
Immediately flattened my tire.
Damn.
I did cry about it.
I mean, cars are one of those things where, like, you feel bad when you damage it.
Yeah, and it's not necessarily, it was an unfortunate day. It was raining. I got a flat tire. Like, I couldn't make it
pretty hard
to where I wanted to go.
Yeah.
So it was just an ordeal. And then I thought about the fact that now I have to fit into my schedule getting it fixed.
That always is a hassle.
And then I was like, that's when the tears came, I think.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I get that.
But we got 4 new tires on that bad boy.
Nice.
And I honestly stay really far away from curbs. Like, I drive in, like, the left lane all the time.
Yeah.
So, lesson learned.
Yeah, I got a flat tire once in Nashville when I ran over it was like a sharp piece of metal just sitting in the middle of the road. Well, I wasn't even anywhere bad. It was just in the middle of the road. Like, I was just unlucky.
Well, now I'm, like, getting nervous because of all the construction and all the nails that can be on it. I'm
I know.
Like, when I was at the tire place, like, there were multiple guys that came in and were like, oh, yeah, like, a nail's in my tire.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ugh. It's just...
How does car insurance not cover tires?
Right? Well, I know tires themselves have, like, insurance for a certain amount of time.
Oh, like a warranty type
sort
of
thing? Yeah. Like, that's what the guy told me on these. And I was like, so if I'm going to get another flat, it needs to be in the next 6 months or something. Like,
yeah.
I'll keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But I think that's how it works. But they should be included, I agree.
Yeah, I mean, they're part of the car. But who cares?
Anything exciting for you?
I think we were at a wedding. We went to a wedding. I don't think I told you about the wedding. It was really nice out in rural Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
South of Nashville. It was awesome. Very, my good friend Dan. And it was great. We had a great time. I was hungover from the day before, though, so it was a little rough initially. And then my headache went away, and I was able to have a good time. But
yep,
initially it was rough. And that's the day we did the drag bus.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, we were talking about play in Nashville. And we did the drag bus and then the wedding all in one day.
I mean, I was very surprised you guys were going so hard the day, before.
Yeah, we don't usually do that. So I was like I was struggling hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. I told people we did that at the wedding, and they were like, "You did what?"
Yeah, that's just not like you guys.
Yeah. Well, and I think all of them had been getting, like, ready the whole day. So they were like, how did you do that?
Well, yeah, I was talking to our parents, and we wwe were laughing about how you just, like, arrived right before.
Oh, 5 minutes. Wedding. 5 minutes before.
And, like, you were there, it happened, and then you went to party.
Yeah, and me and Rachel picked up 2 of my best friend's girlfriends, and they were stressing out.
Oh, I'm sure, because they're like, where's our ride?
Yeah, they're like, where's our ride? But, look, I'm one of those people that I might be just at time, but I always get it done.
Well, Eric, yes.
You know what I mean?
And you know what? For most humans, that stresses us out.
For most people, that does. That stresses
But
out.
if I could do that, I would.
But I'm confident that I always, even if I just get there, I will get there. Like, I will pay you on time. I will arrive on time.
Just have faith.
Just have faith.
Have faith
just
in
trust me.
Eric.
Yeah. I don't think they trusted me, but hey.
Also, before I forget, a side note / plug for an episode we did about 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
If it's just really, really funny. If you all want to go back and have a good laugh. It was from 2017.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the title was like
something
Dead
with
Cats and Body Parts or something.
It was something to do with cats. It's very early on, probably top first 10 episodes.
Yeah, it's Eric, I, and then one of my really good friends who we've known forever.
Yeah. From
back where we're from. But it's really funny, and she dug it out of the grave about a week ago. So definitely check it out if you're, if you don't like what we do today, you might like that better. I don't know.
Yeah,
so,
you might. There's some.
It's pretty funny. I'm not trying
there's
to
some
like.
Ups and downs.
Yeah.
Not every episode is great.
No, but
I can
that one.
promise you that. But that's a good episode.
4 years later, when it's still that funny to you, it was good. So, highly recommend. But Eric, let's tell the fans what we're talking about today.
Yeah, let's get into it. So if you listen to last episode, we talked about the supposed Vatican time traveling machine. It wasn't really. It's not really traveling. It's more of a viewing of the past.
Yes.
The chronovisor. So if you haven't listened to that episode, go check that out. It's a shorter one. So, so we were talking about the Vatican and this time viewing device they supposedly created with some Vatican priests. And so during that episode, we were like, what happened between Jesus' birth and his death? Like, in the Bible, there's not really any information on the in-between. So I was like, oh, yeah, we should do like a, I don't know what you want to call it, like alternative lives of Jesus or mystery of Jesus's...
Where he was, supposed gap
in the Bible.
Because we love to speculate.
We do love to speculate. We love a good story, and we love to speculate. So, we're heading east out of Judea, out of Jerusalem.
Setting the scene.
We're heading east out of Israel.
You're on a camel.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good point. So this theory is basically that Jesus went to Japan. Okay. So very broadly, that he went to Japan. Let me start this way. There is a village in northern Japan, a village by the name of Shingo. It's around 2,500 people, mostly farmers living a rural lifestyle. It's about 3 hours train outside of Tokyo. It's a 3-hour train ride outside of Tokyo. Most of the population there is either Buddhist or Shinto, with only one Christian resident, and there are no churches there. So out of Japan's 128 million people, only 1% identify as Christian in their total.
Wow.
Probably a little more people these days. This article is a few years back, but So Jesus basically found his way to a sleepy mountain village in Japan, and supposedly left his mark there. So. When Jesus turned 21, according to folklore, he made his way to Japan during this 12-year gap in the New Testament known as his lost years.
Mm-hmm.
It is said he came to study theology, and he made landing in Japan at a place called... I'm probably going to butcher this, but why not give it a shot?
Wow.
Amano Hashidate.
Honestly,
not bad.
You killed that.
Except for the Japanese inflections, I think I nailed that. So this was a port on Japan's west coast, and upon his arrival, Jesus studied theology at Mount Fuji. He learned religion, philosophy, Japanese language and cultures, and he's said to have immersed himself in Japanese lifestyle for the time he was there. That continued until he was 31, where he headed back home to Judea.
Okay.
And told of his exotic adventures. So this is where it continues. So it doesn't end there.
Okay.
So according to legend, upon returning and later being crucified, he was able to escape. So the real Jesus was able to escape, and his brother, named Isukiri by the Japanese, traded places with him. And so Isukiri was crucified instead of Jesus. And Jesus fled back to Japan carrying a lock of the Virgin Mary's hair and the severed ear of his brother that had been crucified. This journey back to Japan took him through the wastelands of Siberia. Jesus arrived in the town of Hachinoi, Hachinoi, Japan, before traveling to the nearby village of Shingo, which I mentioned earlier.
Okay.
So, in this village of Shingo, Jesus was known as Daitinku Taro Jurai, and is said to have lived a life of growing garlic and helping the needy. He ended up marrying a farmer's daughter, fathered 3 children with her. This story says he lived a long, happy life in this mountain town and died when he was 106. And I guess they had this burial ritual where the body was laid out on a hilltop for 4 years, after which his bones were bundled up and interred in a grave, which apparently can still be found in the grave can still be found in the village.
Oh wow!
The ear, as well as the lock of the Virgin Mary's hair, were also buried in adjacent graves. And I guess the descendants of Jesus are said to live in this village as well. The Sawaguchi family. So,
well, that's fun.
Yeah. So it's pretty wild. There have been some pieces of evidence offered up. It's been pointed out that the traditional clothing of the region includes toga-like robes worn by men, unlike other Japanese clothing.
Oh, wow.
As well as veils worn by women, all which seem something more along the lines of biblical Palestine than Japan.
Yeah, it does.
In some ancient traditions of the area, included other things that are considered to be non-Japanese, such as carrying babies in woven baskets.
Okay.
Wrapping them in robes embroidered with something akin to the Star of David. Marking the foreheads with crosses of charcoal, which is very Catholic.
Yeah, it is.
Ash Wednesday. The regional dialect is said to have connections to the Holy Land, with some words resembling Hebrew more than Japanese. It says even the name of the village itself was once Herai, which is very similar to the Japanese word for Hebrew, which is Hiburai.
Huh.
And to top this all off, it's said that the villagers have foreign-looking facial features and even blue eyes.
Huh. Blue eyes?
Yeah. They were seen to be a sign that they were descended from somewhere else than Japanese.
Right.
Now, that's not saying that they're... Right? There are a lot of places where blue eyes could be prevalent.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I'm sure some Russians have blue eyes,
yeah.
And Japanese is close to Russia, or Japan is close to Russia, so...
Yeah. That's true.
So lastly, there were a collection of papers known as the Tokonuchi Documents, and they supposedly transcribed a scroll that was found in the area in 1936. And in this scroll, there were texts that outlined the last will and testament of Jesus Christ, as well as basically stories about his life in Japan. The document was said to be transcribed around 1,500 years ago from even older documents, and then handed down through generations through the Tokonuchi family before they were made public in the 1800s. This is thought to be a hoax. There was a cosmoarchaeologist. The hoax was supposed to be, or was thought to be perpetrated by this cosmoarchaeologist, who would later go on to try and contact a UFO on national TV. So, yeah, you never know.
Well, yep.
As I said, the article says take it with a grain of salt. I said that's probably a pretty good idea.
Probably, yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much the jazz. People still pilgrim to this site, however.
Really?
Yeah, some 20,000 people a year. The Israeli ambassador even went there and donated a plaque, but specified that it was a sign of friendship rather than an endorsement of actual knowledge. So, so yeah. Thoughts? Questions?
I think, as far as thoughts go, that I don't really think it's impossible.
No, definitely not. No.
I think a lot of the descriptions are a little too perfect, like, you know, like what they wore, how it was like, how is that just so randomly, like, and obviously different from the whole region, you know?
Of course, yeah.
So that's kind of odd, but I mean, you know, if you believe in coincidences or not.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think it's very possible. I don't quite know. I would love to see that, like, little, document or manuscript.
Yeah.
That'd be cool. Yeah. Also, another side note, but I see it in the article, like, and it's in the one I found, talking about DNA analysis. Like, yeah. I feel like they should be able to, at this point, or we're slowly approaching it, like, be able to know more about DNA.
Yeah.
And, like, solve some of these, like, questions.
Yeah, it's always concerning to me when people are, like, hiding knowledge, or, like, when people don't offer up something,
right,
if they truly believe that it could change the opinion.
Yeah, like a drastic thing.
And like, I get it. Like, I mean, there are people in academia who don't want to, like, say certain things because, right, they need to keep their job. And, like, if they start to say certain things about certain topics, right, it could possibly lose their job. So they don't, like, talk about things, but like, you would think if they truly believed that something was true, if offered to do some sort of DNA analysis, they would let that happen. Yeah, I agree. Like, I'm pretty sure there have been Bigfoot samples, like hair that has been collected. Yeah. Where they do an analysis and, like, they can't identify. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, even if you don't, like, can't, like, match it with anything. Yeah. Like, at least, you know, go as far back as you can. But at least you can rule stuff out. Right. Like, okay, it doesn't match this. But honestly, when I saw that it was Japan, I kind of was hoping that he would wear, like, what are those called? The, like, flowery, like... Oh, the kimonos? The kimonos. Yeah, I know. They're so beautiful. He had to have just looked so good in a kimono. You would think so, yeah. But I guess they wore togas. Yeah, I guess. But... yeah, I think it's obviously possible. I mean, there's even a story about Jesus' uncle who supposedly took him to England because he was a merchant. Okay. And so that, like, they went to, like, Glastonbury, Somerset, England. So there's those stories. I have another one here from India. Yes. And this is concerning a man named Nicholas Notovich. He was a Russian war correspondent that claimed while he was at the either Himis or Hemis monastery in Ladakh, India, he learned about a document called Life of Saint Isa, Best of the Sons of Men.
Yes.
So Isa is Arabic, is the Arabic name of Jesus. Notovich's story was translated. Notovich's story with the translated text of Life of Saint Isa was published in French in 1894. And it translated to Unknown Life of Jesus Christ. So according to these scrolls, Jesus abandoned Jerusalem at 13 and set out towards, India. Pakistan, it says.
Okay.
A town called Sindh. It is one of 4 provinces of Pakistan, located in the southeastern part of the country. Intending to improve and perfect himself in divine understanding and studying the laws of the great Buddha. So he crossed Punjab and reached another place, which I'm not going to pronounce, Puri Jagannath. And he studied under the Vedas and Brahmin priests there. So those are basically like wise Hindu teachers, in layman's terms. He spent 6 years there, and where he was learning was apparently near the ancient seat of Hindu learning. So like, a very important spot in that culture. It is said that he then went to the Himalayas and spent time in a Tibetan monastery studying Buddhism. And then traveled back through Persia and returned to Jerusalem at the age of 29.
Wow.
So clearly, these were inflammatory writings for the time.
Yeah.
Especially in France, I would assume. This Notovich guy, Nicholas Notovich was immediately attacked by multiple people. This guy, Max Muller, stated that this monastery that Notovich got the writings from basically like pulled a prank on him. And that the head lama there responded to a note that Max sent him and said that no Western visitor had been at the monastery in the past 15 years, and that there were no documents related to this story.
Oh, wow.
This man named J. Archibald Douglas visited the same monastery as Notovich and interviewed the head lama there, who stated that Notovich had never been there. Another man named Leopold von Schroeder called Notovich's story a big fat lie.
Oh.
This is a good one.
Okay.
Wilhelm Schneemelker. Wilhelm Schneemelker states that Notovich's accounts were exposed as fabrications, and that to date no one has even had a glimpse at the manuscripts this guy had. So to defend himself, Notovich confessed to having fabricated the evidence.
Oh.
More so like once his story had been like analyzed, he was like, okay, yeah.
Probably not.
Yeah. So, yeah, I guess the entire story was created by Notovich. If you go by the narrative that's mainstream. Yeah.
I think another important thing to note is when Jesus, if he would have stayed in Judea, like he, as a young boy, I feel like if he would have stayed, there would have been knowledge of that in writing, simply because they would get married and whatnot so young. You know, there would be things happening with him.
For sure.
Especially knowing that he is this,
Yeah.
savior.
Yeah.
Like, if he was there, people would be writing about it. So I don't think it's a matter of did he go somewhere else. I think it's a matter of, like, where.
Well, and in the New Testament, obviously there are miracles noted in the Bible, so you would think that if he went to a monastery with other highly devoted religious people, he would have to do something to prove that he was,
like, kind of deserved to be there.
Yeah,
or something,
Yeah, I know in modern day, I think you can like you can walk to these monasteries and they will some monasteries, not all monasteries, but some monasteries will accept you and feed you, and if you need clothed and bathed, they will accept you. But obviously it would be kind of strange if this Middle Eastern looking guy was just walking around in the Himalayas, and then there's nothing special about him.
Yeah, I agree.
So to throw a wrench in the gear.
Okay.
In 1922, Swami. Oh man, that's a rough one. Swami Abhidananda. Abhidananda.
Yeah.
He was the president of the Vedanta Society of New York between 1897 and 1921. He went to the Himis Monastery and allegedly found the manuscript translated by Notovich, which was a Tibetan translation of the original scrolls that were written in Pali, which I'm just assuming is some other Indian dialect.
Yep.
Or that Southeast Asian.
Yeah.
The Lama said it was a copy, and that the original was in a monastery at Marbor near Lhasa. And Lhasa, I think, is just another city in India.
Okay.
After Abhinanda's death in 1939, one of his disciples inquired about the documents at the monastery, but was told they disappeared.
Things always be disappearing.
Always be disappearing, man. So another couple side notes. They're not really stories, but a man by the name of Levi H. Dowling published the Aquarian Gospel of Jesus the Christ, which he claimed was channeled to him from the Akashic Records. Now, Aaron, do you know what the Akashic Records are?
No, you're going to have to tell me.
So the Akashic Records are like this universal deposit of all information. But it's like you can, some people have said they've traveled there, like astral projection, like out of body, or like dreaming. They've traveled to the Akashic Records.
Oh, okay.
So it's like a physical, quote unquote, deposit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So this book was channeled to him from the Akashic Records as the true story of the life of Jesus, including the lost 18 years in the New Testament. The narrative follows the young Jesus across India, Persia, Assyria, Greece, and Egypt. And this was later used... well, I don't know what that belief system is, but
nope.
Apparently this was later used in with elements derived from other sources, such as the...
Let's see.
This is some Islamic revival?
Yep.
Religion? Yeah, I don't know what that is, but anyway. So yeah.
A couple other points relating to India. So, some of the things I found made a good point. So it said that the three wise men who were present at the birth of Jesus Christ, were from the East somewhere. So people believe that there was from his birth, a pull to the East. That he was going to return to where the three wise men were from.
Yeah.
Second, After his crucifixion, he sent St. Thomas to preach the gospel in India.
Yes.
And people are kind of like, why would he? Like, if India was just another place, like, and he had no knowledge of it or experience with it, why would he, like... Because the people he sent to preach the gospel, he sent them strategically to locations.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
That's another point.
Side note about Thomas.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure he was, like, skinned alive in India for teaching this.
He was.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yikes.
Yeah. Wow.
So this last one here, I think I should just note it because it's on the list. This guy named Nicholas Roerich, in 1925, recorded his travels through Ladakh, India. The portion of his journal was published in 1933 as part of a larger work called Altai Himalaya. He recounts legends of Isa, which is the Jesus in Arabic. He recounts legends of Isa shared with him by the Ladakh people and lamas, including that Jesus traveled from Palestine, modern-day Israel, to India with merchants and taught the people. An extended section of this text parallels with Notovich, and this Roerich guy comments on the remarkable similarity between the accounts of the Ladakh people to these passages written by Notovich. Despite the Ladakh people not knowing about this Notovich guy.
Right.
And he also recounts other stories that refer to various manuscripts and legends of Isa that he personally visited this Himis monastery. Wow. So who knows? I mean, the thing about word of mouth stories is literally anyone could hear them.
Right.
So, I mean, is it weird that the Notovich had the same story as these Ladakh people? Yeah, I think it's a little strange. But, I mean...
doesn't mean there's any, like, anything to it.
No, but it is strange.
It is strange.
Yeah, that's about it. I think it's worth noting that the Mormons believe that Jesus Christ came over or that he appeared in, I think it was in Pennsylvania.
Oh.
Did you know that?
I've heard something about that.
I didn't look into it mainly because I wanted to focus on the East, but yeah, the Mormons believe in some appearance of Jesus in the New World. So,
well, I mean, I wish I had a little more, like, it's hard to grasp what the Mormons believe sometimes. Would I love to know that Jesus, I guess depending where you stand, it's hard to grasp any religion and their stories, but I would love to believe Jesus was in Pennsylvania. You know?
Yeah, I would too.
Like, that'd be dope.
I mean, yeah, I've mentioned this on the podcast before, but, like, the narrative that, I don't even know if most people believe this anymore, but the narrative that Christopher Columbus was the first person to discover the Americas or, like, make landfall here is just absolutely absurd. I mean, the Vikings probably were here before. There's even evidence to suggest that the Chinese had been to California, like way back when. Because I mean, the Chinese Empire is vastly more sophisticated than any of the European empires were way before they were. Yeah. So. And then we did an episode the other week about lost explorers. Yeah. Those Portuguese guys that just stumbled upon land and then they were never seen from again. Yep. So, I mean, who knows? Yeah. There was like that carving in stone that's read in Portuguese, like, blah blah blah. I can't remember the guy's name, but like he was here, and then they had a date of like 1519 or something like that.
Yeah.
So you really don't know. History is just so vast.
It's crazy. And I was just talking with one of my friends about, like, me and then her and then another one of my friends are, like, the only people who can, like, who we can talk to about, like, just, like, this type of stuff.
Like,
because,
fringe ideas.
Yeah, or, like, outer space and all like, people are like, that's just, like, like, I don't want to think about it. And we're just, like, when we want to not do anything else we're supposed to do, we just get together and talk about that.
I know.
You know, so it's, recommend having people you can talk about that with.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Very interesting. There's so much we don't know.
Well, me and my girlfriend we were shopping for some other stuff, but we stopped by Books A Million.
Oh, yeah. Bam.
Bam. Yeah. Bam. The amount of knowledge in a Books A Million,
I know,
is ridiculous. Like the history section, like there's no way anyone can read that much information.
No,
like you just can't. It's insane.
We honestly should be historians. Like that's what we should just quit everything else we're doing.
If I could make good money being a historian, I probably would.
We could be like those people on like Ancient Aliens.
Yeah, I mean, hey, you never know.
Like that one dude with the crazy hair.
Yeah,
who's never literally looked the same since I was 6.
He has. My first episode I ever watched, he looks the same since.
I said they have to have recorded all these episodes in the same like year because the man looks the same.
I mean, yeah. I wonder if they're doing new seasons of that. I don't know. I haven't watched.
I haven't watched
Ancient Aliens in so long.
Oh my gosh.
That's like what really got me into some of this crazy stuff with Ancient Aliens.
I mean, I remember coming home from school or wherever and you just being there watching Ancient Aliens.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So
Monster Quest as well. I don't know if you remember Monster Quest.
Oh my god.
Excuse me. That was a really good one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I forgot about that.
I know. Monster Quest was that was good. Well, I mean, I'm all for Jesus being in the East.
Me too.
I think that, closing thoughts, I think that, like, the East, India, China, Mesopotamia, like, those were the cradles of the first modern civilization.
Yep.
And yeah, I don't see why, if Jesus was the Son of God, which I do believe he was, that he would not, or that he would avoid going to other places. Like, why would he stay in one place?
Exactly. I think it would make him all the more likely to go to where literally, like, years of history were before him.
Oh, totally.
You know?
Yeah. And
to, I guess, yes, he probably instinctively knows all of that history because, you know, he's the Son of God, but he also is man. So he would not just be superior and be like, I'm not going to go. Like, he would want to know, is my thought. But
he would want to learn through a human being.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, it just doesn't make sense why he would stay in one place.
No, it doesn't.
And just, I mean, I guess there'd be another argument to where he would just want to, like, live a normal life. Like,
true.
His dad was a carpenter. Like, maybe he just, like, worked.
Right.
But if the parents knew he was the Son of God, wouldn't you think they would, like...
Yeah.
Want to go some... That's also what they don't talk about in the Bible.
What?
At least not extensively, I don't think. Is Mary... They never talk about Mary and Joseph, like, being his parents... Like, Mary was... Sorry, I'm going off on a rant on the Bible again. Mary was, like, what's the term? I can't remember the term, but she was, like, miraculously impregnated.
Yeah.
Yeah. But they don't talk about Mary's perspective on, like, her child is, like... I mean, I know she was there during the crucifixion and all that, but, like, you never get her perspective. It's only through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
Yes, and I also think that's very interesting because a mother's perspective...
Exactly, that's what I'm saying.
...is so important, like, in every form.
Yep.
So, I actually just watched a church service earlier today, and it was talking about like how important the mother like role and figure is in like raising a child.
Oh yeah.
And how, you know, when those, also another tangent, but whenever, you know, that side isn't present, like when that guy or girl like grows up and is in a relationship of their own.
Yeah.
It was like relationship based, but how that mother role is so important because like if you don't have that certain thing growing up, you're going to, you know, carry that into a relationship.
Yeah.
Like for the poorer, you know? So,
yeah.
Very interesting, but
it's best to have the balance.
It is.
Obviously, people have grown up single parent and great human beings.
Absolutely.
And all that, but having that balance, I think,
it definitely helps.
Very substantial. Yep.
Yep.
But yeah, there's no talk about Mary, and they never talk about the parents.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It was just like, bam.
There's just a lot left out of the Bible, and I get that's all we have to work with is the Bible, but like, there's a lot left out.
Yep.
There really is. That just, I don't know, just doesn't make sense. I mean, it makes sense because it was written by man,
right?
So obviously, it's flawed.
Yep.
To some sense, but
moral of the story.
Yeah.
It's flawed.
It's flawed.
We're flawed.
Everyone is messing up consistently.
Yep.
Okay. Good stuff.
Yeah, that was great. I loved it.
Y'all can find us on Twitter at World We Live Pod. You can email the show at worldweliveinpodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on Apple Podcasts at World We Live In Podcast. Rate and review. If you don't like us, go find someone else. But if you do like us,
don't.
If you do like us, give us a 5-star. We love that. And let us know what you think.
Let us know if there's anything cool you want us to talk about.
Yeah, that too. I mean, but we have tons of topics. But if y'all want to hear something else, I mean, we're all up for it.
Do we know where we're heading next week?
Yeah, I found this story about a time traveler.
Here we go.
Where is that? I think I have it up right here. I give you a
little teaser.
Give you a little teaser. This man supposedly traveled to the year 8,973, where humans and machines have become hybrids.
You know, I already am a hybrid of a human and machine, so.
Yeah, I mean, hey, some people are.
Way ahead of the times, I guess, but.
Yeah, so this guy supposedly worked for the British Intelligence Agency, where he traveled to that year that I previously mentioned. And he encountered these beings that were like a symbiotic relationship of technology and humans. So
wish I could say that was really far off, but honestly,
I think it's closer than we like to think.
And I think it's closer than that year.
Yeah, I would agree.
Than 8,000 something.
But I think these people, like, they were made.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not like they had an implant. Like, it was all a meshing of technology. Yeah.
Well.
So that's creepy.
That's where we're picking up next time.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Feel free to get in contact with us if you want. And other than that, we'll see you guys next time.